Joined today by Virginia cross-country coach Pete Watson. Pete, you have your first major meet of the year this weekend, Panorama Farms Invitational. First chance to take on some ranked competition. What are you expecting from this meet?
Expecting just a good solid effort from the boys first time out. Kind of see where the guys are, see how the roster lines up. I expect them to compete really hard because they're wearing the Virginia singlet.
You had a meet about a month ago that was more of kind of a training exercise against Liberty and Radford. What did you learn from that you've been working on over the last month?
I think it was a good starting point to see how the boys could run as a group, and they did a really good job with that. And that's something we've continued to work on during the fall is seeing how close the pack is together. We've kind of seen separation here and there with little pods of guys, but I think the guys are learning how to run together as a team.
You named recently Thomas Porter and Kyle King as your captains. What went into that decision?
Well, I think Kyle is outgoing type of leader, does everything right. He's very competitive, really encouraging to the guys. He commands the respect of all the guys in the locker room and in the van when we travel to practice. He does a great job with that. And then Thomas Porter, he's more of a kind of a quiet leader, a guy who does everything right, and when he speaks, the guys really listen and take into account what he has to say. Both of them have different personalities, but both are great leaders.
You have quite a few veterans from last year's NCAA Southeast Regional Championship team, but also a few newcomers that should make an impact. How have you kind of meshed those two groups?
Yeah, it's an interesting mix of ages. It's a really young group, and then you put in Thomas and Paisley, the two seniors on the team. This is probably the most cohesive group of guys I've had, and the age doesn't really play too much into effect of it. It's the guys just kind of judge each other by how hard they're working and how committed they are, and then they kind of sort the pieces from there.
And finally, how does this weekend's meet start you off for this stretch of some of the bigger meets leading into the ACC Championships in a little bit over a month?
Yeah, I think this weekend's really important. This is, when real cross country gets to start. This is when the guys have been working hard for a month and they start to see, the benefits. This is when they learn how to race. This is when they learn how to actually hurt on the course. This is when they really learn how good they are and how good they're going to become. We have a tough 2-week stretch here. We're going to go home and then 6 days later at Notre Dame. And then we're going to take a month off basically to ACC. So the next 2 weeks we want to hit it pretty hard and learn where we are and see what we need to do to make some improvements so we can contend for an ACC title.